Chapter 5. The elevation of mortal men to the level of kings or recipients of divine blessing. Preface. With a heart weighed down by concern and a collective sense of duty, we stand before you, united by a shared purpose. As believers in God and followers of Jesus, we are compelled to address a pressing issue: the elevation of mortal men to positions of power akin to kings or recipients of divine blessing. In the world of today, where charisma and authority often intertwine, we find ourselves at a crossroads of values, questioning whether we align with what would Jesus do, WWJD, or what would Satan do, WWSD, in the face of this complex phenomenon. 1. Evaluating the perspective of Jesus. In this chapter, we embark on a profound exploration of how Jesus would perceive the elevation of mortal individuals to the level of kings or divine recipients. We delve into his teachings, extracting principles that guide us away from the glorification of human leaders to the status of the divine. Jesus, in his embodiment of humility and servanthood, provides a guiding light that challenges the deification of individuals and champions the inherent worth of all. 2. The manipulative exploitation by Satan. Simultaneously, we peel back the layers to understand how Satan exploits the elevation of mortal men. We unveil a darker side, one in which the adoration of influential figures becomes a tool for manipulation and control. WWSD forces us to confront the manipulation that arises when mortal leaders are placed on pedestals, their followers blinded by devotion and swayed by malevolent agendas. 3. Perils of unquestioning reverence. The dangers of unquestioning reverence come into focus, drawing our attention to the potential consequences of bestowing excessive power and recognition upon human leaders. Through the lens of WWJD, we confront the pitfalls that can emerge when humility and servanthood are discarded in favor of unchecked authority. We see how the teachings of Jesus counterbalance the pursuit of power, reminding us that true leadership lies in service, not domination. 4. The cult of personality and distorted truth. Satan's insidious influence materializes in the cultivation of a cult of personality, a dangerous spiral into the worship and veneration of mortal figures. This chapter exposes how such veneration distorts truth, suppresses critical thinking, and becomes a breeding ground for manipulation. WWSD forces us to reckon with the divisive agendas that can arise when loyalty to individuals replaces the pursuit of universal truths. In Matthew chapter 7 verses 15 to 23, Jesus addresses the issue of true and false prophets, warning his followers to be discerning in evaluating the authenticity of spiritual leaders and their teachings. Here's an explanation of this passage. Beware of false prophets. Matthew chapter 7 verses 15 to 20. Jesus begins by cautioning his disciples to be wary of false prophets who come disguised as sheep, but are actually wolves. These false prophets may appear outwardly righteous and convincing, but their intentions are deceptive. Just as a healthy tree bears good fruit and a diseased tree bears bad fruit, false prophets can be identified by their actions and the outcomes of their teachings. Jesus emphasizes that genuine spiritual leaders will produce good fruit in the form of righteousness, truth, and positive impact on the lives of others. Not everyone who says, "Lord, Lord," Matthew chapter 7 verses 21 to 23. Jesus goes on to stress that mere profession of faith or religious activity is not sufficient for true discipleship. He warns that not everyone who says, "Lord, Lord," will enter the kingdom of heaven. He describes individuals who perform miracles and cast out demons in his name but are not truly aligned with God's will. Jesus makes a sobering statement: "I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers." This underscores the importance of a genuine relationship with God and a life that reflects obedience to his teachings. This passage serves as a powerful reminder for believers to exercise discernment and critical thinking when evaluating spiritual leaders and their teachings. It emphasizes the significance of genuine faith expressed through righteous actions, rather than relying solely on outward appearances or impressive displays of spirituality. In summary, Matthew chapter 7 verses 15 to 23 underscores the importance of discerning true prophets from false ones based on the fruit of their teachings and actions. It challenges individuals to go beyond surface-level expressions of faith and to cultivate a deep, authentic relationship with God that is reflected in a life of obedience and genuine righteousness. 5. Navigating leadership with discernment. Guided by the teachings of Jesus, we learn to navigate the complex terrain of leadership with discernment. Jesus' emphasis on humility and the intrinsic worth of all human beings serves as a beacon, reminding us that no individual should be exalted above others. WWJD prompts us to look beyond charisma and authority, urging us to evaluate leaders based on their actions, character, and commitment to the common good. 6. The struggle for democracy and accountability. Lastly, we confront the challenge of preserving democratic principles and accountability in the face of the elevation of mortal men. Satan's tactics come to light as we witness the suppression of dissenting voices and the erosion of the foundational tenets of democracy. WWSD unveils the erosion of checks and balances when unchecked adoration obscures rational judgment. In this chapter, the elevation of mortal men to the level of kings or recipients of divine blessing, we are guided by the tenets of WWJD versus WWSD. We aim to untangle the complexities of leadership and adoration, striving for a society that prizes humility, values discernment, and remains steadfast in the pursuit of truth. By exploring this dichotomy, we deepen our understanding of the potential pitfalls, embracing a path that fosters genuine spiritual connection, accountability, and a harmonious coexistence guided by the principles of Jesus. May our collective efforts be guided by the wisdom of God, inspiring hope and healing in a world that yearns for truth and love. With sincerest devotion, your fellow believers and shepherds of the faithful.